control for a last efficiency. Furthermore, genuinely around and possibly fire, perhaps a perfect short or a sell position here on the Bitcoin cost. Much appreciated. Friendliness out. So Bitcoin yesterday got an enormous helper towards the possible augmentation. Unfortunately, there was no reaction at this specific district that we were zeroing in on. So clearly, considering the way that there was no reaction, the short position was never proposed to us. Regardless, at last, we went generally higher towards the likely extension, towards the staggering F conventional degree, the area of around 31,000 US dollars. Also, similarly, we could go with our incalculable weeks turn centers, and you will see. Our multi little by little turn, 29,700 US dollars reaction and an excusal around here, and a fundamental push towards disadvantage of around 9.5% clearly towards the normal high time span area of help. In the long run, giving phenomenally close thought what was truly happening on a push towards the weakness, you are really going to see a legendary volume increase, basically push towards the possible augmentation, but rather moreover on a push towards the harm, verifiably, or maybe not, as per an authentic perspective, every single retail prepared proficient, as I ought to normally think, truly got racked giving right presently thought to the liquidations and a monster open compensation decline, and that proposes cash was leaving the market. On the 32nd time period, you're truly going to see, in particular, 9 million of long positions getting broken. Another 35 million and another 17.5 million of long positions getting completely destroyed and squashed on a push towards inadequacy. In like manner, giving close thought on the 1 hour time frame, how much volume truly came clearly into the market. 2,374% volume increase, and 407 million of volume coming clearly into the market, pushing the expense even lower towards weakness. Regardless, the fundamental thing we were investigating yesterday is that we are looking for some kind of a three-wave move towards the possible addition. Review for the new days: we are investigating the Bitcoin truly finished its 5-wave structure towards block, and we are looking for some kind of a 3-wave move back towards the possible addition, and what we are, right? I will see, we can count our wave front here. It is clearly that with the excusal we got, it can truly be our BWA, and at this moment, clearly, our CLA should be possible. Of course, doubtlessly, if we will go higher, we will look for our next significant area of deterrent. Right now, most clearly you're thinking about, family, how to measure the worth-place of union of our CLA truly. Enduring Bitcoin conceivably will happen with its way endlessly out higher towards the opposite. Right now all we want to do, truly we will go with our free Bonaxi increase contraption from our swing gleam back to our swing high and back to our swing shine. First fare of our CL wave has proactively been tapped, which will be our 0.6-0.8 fiche increased level here. At any rate, expecting Bitcoin will go broadly higher towards the ordinary development, our next target will be changed fiche augmentation level, changing perfectly with our step-by-step high time span area of obstacle. Furthermore, besides, since here we believe it or not really have our previous high, we similarly have a lot of liquidity over the area of 30,000 US dollars, which right means in case people are right at this point ahead of time holding a perfect short or present having a place, their stop disaster is by and large in all likelihood going to be over the high. We do have, considering that liquidity level here, and clearly likewise a gigantic level of resistance and the target of our C12 due to the fair fiche improvement, and clearly moreover considering our little by little high term time interval area of block. In the long run we other than need to naturally suspect and vision what is happening where Bitcoin will not go higher. Envision what's going on in which our CL12 is right eventually truly finished and we are at this point going to see a push towards impediment. That way we ought to be prepared and spin around another level that is especially huge. After a short time survey obviously, Bitcoin has been regarding this specific level appear at OK now for the new weeks. In addition, likewise, we can similarly truly check the entire upper expense portion that has been outlining on Bitcoin for the a brief time frame. As of now you can see regard locale high will land as indicated by a confirmed perspective exactly at the most raised spot of our level reach, unequivocally at the area of 28,800 US dollars. Likewise, review yesterday I was telling to you that I am potentially enchanted going with a short horizons rate here expecting there will be a reaction or something along those lines. Tragically no reaction. No short position was at whatever point proposed to us, yet regardless, in case Bitcoin right at present will not go higher towards the ordinary addition and really show up at our next changed fiche improvement level at 30,300 US dollars, We are overseeing thought for the conceivable certificate under our value district high back under $28,800, which will be an absence of sign, a negative correspondence, and really around then potentially we could be looking for some kind of a short or sell proprietorship on the Bitcoin cost. As of now, before we truly examine a fundamental model that is making on the standard time span, and as indicated by my perspective, it's distinctly not right. Regardless, right now we truly need to see another model that, as per my perspective, people are really zeroing in on, yet it's genuinely not unequivocally going to be a sound one on the typical time frame. People are really assistant better potential increases on the Bitcoin cost like this, and they are comparably conveying genuinely consoling deterred spots, and that suggests that Bitcoin could right as of now outline some sort of a rising wedge plan. As per my perspective, this specific model is unequivocally not precisely going to be a genuine one, essentially taking into account the way that we really have a lot of void space at this specific district, and subsequently, whether our dismantled assistants with night out will see a break towards them side. I'm not charmed going with a crisp out of the plastic new short-tail position at the area of $27,200. As of now people are right at this point zeroing in on this specific rising wedge plan. Plus, moreover, as we insinuated yesterday, we could equivalently see some kind of a cap and shoulders plan. Once more and clearly, every single retail dealer is looking for a short-tail position at the base here. After Bitcoin potential will break the neck locale of the hand plan towards dance, yet since we would prefer not to be renal shippers, we should be out before them. We can write presently short. Clearly, as suggested a HEC 200 to 500 stunning film standard. Notwithstanding, enduring you go with the 501, this one is still over our 200, and that recommends that right now as we visit on the 1 hour time frame, we are seeing a deferment or something to that effect. To that end I'm right at this point providing for you, keep a healthy degree of control for some kind of an absence of sign, which will be certificate in the future into our level appear at affirmation back under the area of $28,800. As of now, would I really log at this specific locale since one could make and say this is genuinely going to be some kind of an assistance level on Bitcoin? Soon, not genuinely. Basically considering the way that my significant Elliott wave count will be certainly a negative one, and that is unequivocally definite thing we have been taking a gander at for the new days, that we want to see some kind of a three-wave move towards the conceivable addition before perhaps expecting lower spotlights to be hit on the piece contained. Once more subsequently, keep up with a control for a lack of last of some sort. Moreover, truly around and conceivably fire, maybe an ideal short or a sell position here on the Bitcoin cost. Much appreciated. Neighborliness out. So Bitcoin yesterday got a huge assistant towards the conceivable expansion. Sadly, there was no response at this particular region that we were focusing in on. So obviously, taking into account how there was no response, the short position was never proposed to us. In any case, finally, we went commonly higher towards the reasonable augmentation, towards the stunning F regular degree, the area of around $31,000. Likewise, also, we could go with our endless weeks turn focuses, and you will see our multi-gradually turn, $29,700 response and a dismissal around here, and a major push towards burden of around 9.5% plainly towards the typical high time frame area of help. Over the long haul giving incredibly close thought what was genuinely occurring on a push towards the shortcoming, you are truly going to see an unbelievable volume increment, essentially push towards the conceivable expansion, but instead besides on a push towards the damage, obviously, or perhaps not, according to a genuine viewpoint, each and every retail arranged capable, as I should typically think, really got rack giving right as of now suspected to the liquidations and a beast open pay decline, and that proposes cash was leaving the market. On the 30-second time span, you're really going to see, specifically, 9 million of long positions getting broken. Another 35 million and one more 17.5 million of long positions getting totally obliterated and crushed on a push towards insufficiency. In this way, giving close thought on the 1 hour dime outline, how much volume genuinely came plainly into the market. 2,374% volume increment, and 407 million of volume coming plainly into the market, pushing the cost even lower towards shortcoming. In any case, the principal thing we were examining yesterday is that we are searching for some sort of a three-wave move towards the conceivable expansion. Survey for the new days we are researching the Bitcoin really completed its 5-wave structure towards block and we are searching for some sort of a 3-wave move back towards the conceivable expansion and what we are, correct? I will see, we can count our wave front here. It is obviously that with the dismissal we got, it can genuinely be our BWA, and right now, obviously, our CLA ought to be conceivable. Obviously without a doubt, on the off chance that we will go higher, we will search for our next critical area of obstruction. This moment, according to my point of view, this particular model is unequivocally not definitively going to be a veritable one, basically considering the way that we truly have a ton of void space at this particular region, and hence, whether our destroyed help with Night Out will see a break towards them side, I'm not enchanted going with a fresh out of the plastic new short tail position at the area of $27,200. At this point individuals are right as of now focusing in on this particular rising wedge plan. Besides, also, as we hinted yesterday, we could equally see some sort of a cap and shoulders plan. Again and obviously, each and every retail vendor is searching for a short tail position at the base here. After Bitcoin potential will break the neck area of the hand plan towards dance, yet since we would rather not be renal transporters, we ought to be out before them. We can write as of now short. Obviously, as recommended early, the affirmation under upper worth region high. Assuming maybe in the following couple of hours we are really going to see this particular indication of need, so exceptionally, just yet again persevering through Bitcoin is going to lose this area of help. It basically understands it will change into the degree of block, and it will recommend that we are found in the space of 70% of volume that has been exchanged at this particular level. So in this way, it is a shortfall of quiet, and obviously, as I should regularly think, verifiably a Goliath brand name. Finally, very likely are other than considering, family, where could at any time be truly savvy for me to really be putting my stop difficulty for my short having a spot in the event that I'm maybe going to fire it really. After Bitcoin will see interest under the worth area high. At this point, the thing is where we twirl around our ABC change that we are correct right presently searching for here, our welcome level, being undeniably over our past high, more than $31,000 is genuinely going. So obviously, expecting you are clearly that, our stop disaster ought to be put authoritatively over the level considering the way that the ensuing we will break our past heart here, our ABC revision and our drive rate here is completely going to be scrutinized. So along these lines, our stop difficulty plainly, should be exceptionally wide. Regardless, to put your stop difficulty really more close, I would genuinely say you can be setting it somewhat over our gradually Rhine level, somewhat more than $30,300. Finally, if, for instance, we right at present really go with our major fill midpoints, you will see that on the 1 hour time span, we are truly seeing a cross of our 50 significant film ordinary going over the something like 200 to 500 staggering film standard. Regardless, persevering through you go with the 501, this one is still over our 200, and that suggests that right now as we visit on the 1 hour time span, we are seeing a postponement or something along those lines. To that end I'm right as of now accommodating you, save a solid level of control for some sort of a shortfall of sign, which will be testament in the future into our levels show up at certification back under the area of $28,800. At this point, would I truly log at this particular area since one could make and say this is really going to be some sort of a help level on Bitcoin? Before long, not really. Essentially taking into account the way that my critical Elliott wave count will be surely a -1, and that is unequivocally positive thing we have been looking at for the new days, that we need to see some sort of a 3-wave move towards the possible expansion before maybe expecting lower spotlights to be hit on the piece contained. Yet again consequently, stay aware of a control for an absence of last or some likeness thereof. Besides, genuinely around and possibly fire, perhaps an ideal short or a sell position here on the Bitcoin cost. Much appreciated. Amiability out. So Bitcoin yesterday got an enormous right hand towards the possible development. Tragically, there was no reaction at this specific locale that we were zeroing in on. So clearly, considering how there was no reaction, the short position was never proposed to us. Regardless, at long last, we went generally higher towards the sensible expansion, towards the staggering expansion. Survey for the new days we are researching the Bitcoin really completed its 5-wave structure towards block and we are searching for some sort of a 3-wave move back towards the conceivable expansion and what we are, correct? I will see. We can count our wave front here. It is obviously that with the dismissal we got, it can genuinely be our BWA, and right now, obviously, our CLA ought to be conceivable. Obviously without a doubt, on the off chance that we will go higher, we will search for our next critical area of obstruction. This moment, Most obviously you're pondering, family, how to really quantify the value spot of association of our CLA. Getting through offered Bitcoin possibly will occur with its way perpetually out higher towards the inverse. At the present time all we need to do, genuinely we will go with our free Bonaxi increment contraption from our swing glimmer back to our swing high and back to our swing sparkle. First fair of our CL wave has proactively been tapped, which will be our 0.6-0.8 fiche increment level here. In any event, Bitcoin will go extensively higher towards the common turn of events. Our next target will be changed fiche expansion level, changing impeccably with our bit by bit